may come in handy. Maybe not now, maybe later, or maybe even now in the endeavor or in the type of work you do or in the field that you belong. So thank you again for joining me. Good afternoon. It's Thursday, and on Thursdays we love to have our great debate. And today will not be any different as we'll be debating a national issue. Dangote has been in the news ever since this man came on board with his refinery. You cannot take away the fact that he has become a news item. Once upon a time, he used to make his money very quietly. Only his product spoke for him. So that if you have to talk about Dangote, is maybe making reference to any of his products, whether the cement or all the other household items we get to use in cooking and otherwise. But ever since the refinery came on board, it seemed that it became a major issue of whether attacks or impasse with the government or unions and so on and so forth. Prices. Look, a lot of things from different angles just started coming up on board. And so Dangote started talking, He would have to make comments about why he had to invest. Sometimes you would even want to think that the man is regretting, investing in Nigeria based on all the wahala that started coming from everywhere. At first, people were like, hey, when Dangote Refinery comes, all our problems in the oil and gas industry or in the petroleum, sector of it all, maybe it will just vanish into thin air. But we have to remind ourselves that this is a big-time businessman who is coming to harness on profit. And so it's not his job, it's not his duty to provide for Nigerians. He is here to make money. He's a capitalist. He wants to capitalize and make money, even though at the same time making available services or products that once upon a time were scarce, but he will make his business, and it is government's own responsibility to ensure that, the balance is created in the sense that the availability, affordability, and also the competition aspect of it is also provided, and not Dangote. He's not the savior or messiah of Nigerians. But then, having come on board and started operations ever since he did, we've seen a whole lot. The man trying to put in a whole lot of ease in terms of prices, but that also doesn't seem to go down right with some people. And so you see, when you hear the concept of cabals, you hear the concept of some people who are just not eager to see life become easy for Nigerians based on some happenings at different levels in different sectors in Nigeria. You'll be tempted to believe that indeed there are some people who are merchants of the suffering of Nigerians. They are profiteering when people suffer, when prices of products, of goods and services keep going higher and higher. It's because some people are profiting somewhere. Because there's there's space for subsidy, there's room for inflation to go down. That's what happens in some other climes where you get to see that inflation, the moment it starts going up, becomes a big threat to the government, and they stamp it down or step it down to the barest minimum so that people are able to afford, especially food and basic necessities. If not, it becomes a major problem. We've seen countries go up ablaze because maybe the price of bread or food items are unaffordable. And when people become hungry, they become angry, So these sort of things, you see it happen, and you would expect that, look, life generally ought to be in such a way that it is moderate, it's affordable, it is fair for people. If not, you cannot expect to get the best of people in terms of their reaction to a government if they feel life is way too hard. It's just a normal human concept, right? Everybody wants to be able to put food on their table. They want to be able to afford the basic necessities. Healthcare should not be too hard to afford. Educating your children should not be something that you would have a headache thinking about because the money is too much. And then buying clothes to cover your body. Also, I'm not talking about the designers of this world. I'm talking of moderate clothing that people should be able to afford to wear and be decently dressed and go about their activities in and around town and so on and so forth. So when you begin to see cases of some invincible factors or invincible people fighting when prices of certain things want to be brought down either by government or people who are in business, then you should know that there is something wrong somewhere. Anyways, those are just stuff to lay foundation of what we would be talking about today on the Great Debate, I want us to look at this interesting development, right? Nigeria has been importing fuel, and I know we debated once upon a time about the call for Dangote or by Dangote that Nigeria needs to stop importing fuel. Okay, some months back, Dangote went to a forum, I think outside Nigeria. Was it in Ethiopia or what country was that? That, you know, it was a forum where all the business people, many of them gathered together, and you know, he for one had the opportunity and he advocated for Nigerian government to stop importing, or Nigerian government to stop the importation of fuel into the country, seeing that he has the capacity to provide for local consumption and also for exports to whether West African countries and to other nations of the world. You remember? And we debated upon it, and some people were for and some people were against. Some people's argument or debate was the fact that, look, let's avoid anything that would encourage capitalism and cause people to be in undue pains. Let's give room for competition. As much as he's providing, whether it's 650 million barrels every other day, whatever it is, let also room be made for other people. You know, maybe if we can have other private refineries and even government refineries working simultaneously so that the prices become competitive, that's a much better option than leaving it in the hands of one man. Okay, so that has led us, you know, or led me to today, you know, with further news coming up on board, that despite all the conversation, we still see that the government is importing fuel. Now, between August 2024 and the first 10 days of October 2025, according to data from NMDPRA, Nigeria has imported, Nigeria has imported over 21 billion liters of petrol, or of the 21 billion liters of petrol it consumed between August 2024 and the first days of 2025. We have imported 21 billion liters of petrol that has been consumed in the country. Okay? And then looking at it also, Nigeria imported about 15.01 billion liters of premium motor spirit as petrol between August 2024 and the first days of October 2025, representing nearly 69% of the total national petrol supply during the 15-month period. And this is despite the fact that the Dangote Refinery started petrol production in September of 2024. Okay, so you want to juxtapose that with the amount of barrel or liters that is produced from the Dangote Refinery, 650 million barrels. Okay, but then despite that, 15 billion liters between August and October. I'm not talking of last year. I'm talking of this August that just went by, and this October, the first 10 days, over 15 billion liters of fuel brought into the country and consumed. Okay. Now, like I said, it's figures from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, that is the NMDPRA, that shows that the total PMS supply for the period stood at 21.68 billion liters. So if you remove 15 billion out of this 21.68 billion liters, okay, you have maybe about 6.67 billion liters, or 31% coming from domestic refining. So a large chunk, that's about 69% of the total number of liters that we have consumed in the last 1 month has come in through importation. I hope you understand, right? I hope you do understand the figures that I'm reading out for you so that it form a basis for the debate we will have. So only 31% came from domestic refining. And right now we know that which we're referring as domestic refining is the Dangote. After all, that's the active refinery that we have in the country, right? I mean, Remember the period where we had this hulabaloo about, hey, Port Harcourt Refinery has come back and it's now working. Kaduna Refinery is going to follow up in a bit. Warri Refinery has also been put in shape and so on and so forth. God. Sometimes the wash that we have in this country. Anyways, that has gone up with or it has been blown off like a candle in the wind until another propaganda also comes up again. I mean, we went with the last NNPC person, talking about Kyari, Mele Kyari and all of that. But that was one narrative that was being pushed out there, that the refineries, government refineries, are back and working. So if they're back and working, the question is, how come they've gone back to being moribund or hibernated again or hibernating? Anyway, so 31%, okay, but a larger chunk, which is 69%, was imported. Now, the data titled Import versus Domestic Supply Performance, that's PMS Daily Average Supply between August 2024 to October 2025, captured supply trends of over 15 months, highlighting the gradual rise in local production and a corresponding drop in the imports. According to the breakdown, imported petrol averaged 44.60 million liters per day in August of 2024 and rose to 54.30 million liters per day in September of 2024, marking the peak of import dependence during the period. And this was the time when the Dangote Refinery began PMS supply to the local market. It was noted that imports began to decline steadily, falling to 24.15 million liters per day by January of 2025. Then it went to 19.29 million liters per day in September of 2025 and 15.11 million liters per day within the first days of October of 2025. The decline in petrol imports showed that the Dangote Refinery is gradually taking a significant share of the market, but this comes with stiff competition from petrol importers who repeatedly accuse Aliko Dangote of stifling competitors with consistent price reduction. As domestic refining grew consistently through the period, local production, which stood at 6.43 million liters per day in September of 2024, has increased to 22.66 million liters per day. And then in January of 2025, before stabilizing around 20 million liters per day in subsequent months. By October of 2025, the Dangote Refinery was producing an average of 18.93 million liters per day, exceeding imports for that month. Okay, so the data also showed notable supply fluctuations across months, as total daily PMS supply peaked at 60.73 million liters in September of 2024 before dropping to 44.08 million liters in April of 2025 and further to 34.04 million liters by October of 2025, and the variations reflected shifts in both import availability and refinery operations. Okay, so let me stop with the figures because I'm not sure this will stick to people's head until you take your time and study it. But my question is just one, right? And that has to do with the fact that despite the large chunk of importation, which the data actually shows, do you think that there is a plan of sabotage, or it is just a mere case of competition? That's a simple question this afternoon that I want us to debate on, looking at importation figures still being quite high, very, very high, as compared to Dangote Refinery. Of course, we've seen a decline over the years, but you cannot take away the fact that it is still very, very high, considering the fact that we are churning out locally, There are just a very few countries in Africa that do not import fuel. I think Algeria is one of them, and I've forgotten what the other country is. Just a few of them. With rumors of more private refineries coming up on board, I don't know what the future is going to look like. Maybe we might get to the point where we'd have to stop importation pretty soon if we have more bigger refineries coming up on board and the competition widens up. But then, do you think there is a sabotage? There is a deliberate sabotage on domestic production through the Dangote Refinery, or is it just competition? Let's take this quick commercial, then we'll start our debate after this.
The future of power in Africa is solar, and the sheep continues to sail as the solar
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 I want us to debate today. Do you think there's a deliberate sabotage plan or sabotage efforts over the Dangote Refinery and the domestic production of PMS, especially, by the very, very high amount of imports that is still recorded into Nigeria, or do we still tag it as competition? It's just part of the competition. That's what I want us to debate on this afternoon. So our debate will take the form of you calling in, introducing yourself, and telling us what your take is on this particular issue, right? Tell me what your stand is. Do you think there is a sabotage for the fact that we're still recording very high number of liters being imported into the country, despite the fact that we're seeing a businessman making efforts? I mean, recently we looked at how the unions were really on his case, insisting he has to allow his workers to come under a union. Some supported, some were against that act. Now it is the number of PMS, okay, the number of liters that are still being imported into the country, even though we've seen a decline, but then it's still very, very high. Do we get to that point where we just should allow this thing to lie low so that we can have, and when you look at also the case of Dangote, there have been a lot of, I don't know whether it is a theory or it is propaganda, whatever it is, but the quality also is something that many people have commented. In fact, so many people have taken to social media to make comparison of fuel bought from Dangote, filling stations that have some sort of partnership with Dangote Refinery, and the others that maybe are most probably imported. And many of them reported that allegedly that, the Dangote PMS is of better quality. Well, I don't know about that. I'm not endorsing that. I'm just saying that this is what we've seen over the years. So, but then looking at also the high amount, the high number of liters still being imported into the country, despite domestic production of the Dangote Refinery. Do we tag that as sabotage? Do we say that no, it's just a slow journey that will get us to that point where we would have a drastic reduction in terms of importation? Or how do you see, the whole situation whereby we're recording 69% of importation, while just a paltry little 30 something percent, goes to the domestic production of PMS in the country? So share your thoughts with me on that this afternoon, and let's have this debate on 0700 951 0000. Okay? And 08095974869. WhatsApp is 08099930137. Hello? Okay, sorry, call me back. Okay, let me see this. All right, that didn't stay. This one is asking a question. Is that which report are we to believe? Is it out of this APC government known generally for? I don't like some choice of words. I don't like reading some sort of messages that have some choice of words. I beg you to please always help me, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Barrister Swat.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is Godwin O. Abuo, a good German in Abuja.
All right.
Yes, to me, this very issue or topic concerning nation's economy, I see it as a kind of sabotage against Dangote group. You see, I see this importation of fuel as a kind of government uses it to pacify its allies. Otherwise, it doesn't take anything to say, okay, Dangote, since you are there to front for the production of oil in the country, okay, let us give you a trial. They give him a free hand to operate. Hence, our 4 refineries are moribund. He has stood up to say, I will take Nigeria to the highest peak. And they should allow him. But they keep fighting him forth and back. His oil is not good, his this and that. And you can see recently, Hitman as well as Penderson, they frustrated him to the lowest ebb. If not for the fact that certain Nigerians came up and said, no, we will not allow that to happen. It would have been something else. You see, they should allow this man to operate. They should give him an open hand. It's not a question of monopoly anymore. He is out there to salvage the situation, to make sure we don't go haywire. Understand?
All right.
Government will not allow it, especially the cabals who are benefiting from the import. They will not allow him, so that everything will go back business as usual. And that is where we are, where we are today. And that is just my take. It's just a question of not allowing this man to function, so that Nigerian will continue to go the other way around, rather than benefiting the common man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Godwin. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's hear more comments on this, or let's have more opinion on the particular topic we're talking about. That is the 15 billion liters of fuel importation into the country, despite the Dangote output. Sabotage or competition? How do you see it? Mere competition or a sabotage? Let's listen to this voice note.
Swat, Avoka Majesty, greetings. This is Banky from Wuse 2. You are wondering why suddenly Dangote is now before everybody's face. Dangote took a huge risk. Forbes quantify him to be below $15 billion. And here he is building a $20 billion refinery where he took loans. So he's desperate, because or else he will lose all his riches. He's desperate. And the government is in support of him, even though the government knows that the marketers are very powerful. That is why the viceroy called him an institution. He said Aliko is an institution. It's not just an ordinary person. He's trying to make this easy, but the marketers want to continue with their usual way, making lives well for people. So Dangote is the real deal. Let the marketers and all their supporters go and build their own refineries to compete with Dangote, and stop wasting our foreign exchange on importing fuel. That has to stop, and Tinubu must have the courage to face them, even though they are very powerful, but they must be faced.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Banky. Hello.
Swat, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Peacemaker.
All right. Peacemaker. Welcome.
Okay, so my opinion about this.
You're sounding very low. Please, can you project your voice?
Okay, can you hear me now? Is it better?
Better now. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so my idea of business is when everybody has the right to go to the market, bring goods around and make it competitive, is better for me. I understand that Dangote has invested a lot of money in the oil sector, and is supposed to benefit from it. But when you leave it in the hand of Dangote, what happened to the cement industry will happen in the oil industry. It comes subtle like this. Everybody will shift to him and all of that. At the end of the day, it will not determine what happened in the country when it comes to petroleum. So, however, my thought is let anybody who can import. The only sad thing is that the government are paying subsidy for those ones and telling us they are not paying subsidy. Otherwise, if it was truly independent marketers importing product to the country to sell at their price, let's have it. Let's have competition. It's easier when there are competition. It's better for the masses when there's competition. It's worse when there's no competition. So I think there's nothing like sabotage or anything there. It's
Okay.
just the government that's not doing the right thing at their end. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate. Hello.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Peter. I'm calling from Nassau.
Okay.
Nassau. You see, I don't want situation can be as it is only Dangote.
Come again?
Dangote about this fuel issue. I don't see no any Dangote product is very easy to buy. As I am, I don't have anything benefit in Dangote. All these products is very cost. See now, a massacre Dangote don't buy the land of masses who are doing.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking you, sir. That's not what you're going off our topic. I'm just asking you about the current status quo of importation. Over 15 billion liters of fuel imported in a very short while, despite domestic production. Is it competition? Is it sabotage? That's my question.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So have a grip of the topic, then you can comment. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon. My first part.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. There's no way Dangote can supply the energy need of the entire country. It's not possible.
Okay.
We can't we can't monopolize the supply of energy. There must be competition. If we have the capacity, we outgrow the competitors. If it's an open market, if it's free trade, with the existence of foreign music, dominance of foreign music, Nigerian music become a global trend. That's it. Now, in the sub-sector of cement industry, the entrance of Dangote, it is a hell. He dominated and monopolized cement sub-sector. It led to the rise, the escalating price of properties, house rent. That is all the implication from Dangote. People don't know. If Dangote borrow money or took loans, it is pursuing a business interest. We should not be turned, the majority of Nigerians shouldn't be turned to a cash cow of Dangote. It must be competition, free trade. Let everybody come, even Chinese, Japanese, if they have the capacity and technology, let them open refinery. This a narrative that it is Dangote alone that is showing interest or is patriotic. It's wrong.
Okay.
Let them open a bidding on international scale. If the investor will not come, that is my take. It is competition, but Swat.
All right.
Competition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abubakar, for your contribution. So, hello, good afternoon.
Hello? Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome. Hello, I can hear you.
This is Jonathan.
Oh, Jonathan.
Jonathan.
All right, welcome. Go ahead, please.
So I think this is a sabotage. You know why?
Tell me why.
See, where were they? Thank you. Where were they when the federal government was struggling to refurbish just single refinery and they could not over a period of years now? Where were they when where fuel were being holding despite importation of fuel? And we should remember that we have natural resources here. Now, a single man has come out to free us from this suffering. And now they are not coming out with the only to say that it's going to monopolize the economy in that aspect. It's not like that. Why have they not thought of, at least, even if it's to make a refinery workable in this country? Despite the fact that God has given us this natural resource, we kept on wallowing and suffering, pertaining these particular resources that is available to us. I think it's sabotage. And apart from being sabotage, most of these people that are holding him, troubling him now, most of them are part of the cabal that we're talking about, and they're the government. And that is why the federal government cannot only condemn them, rather they end up romancing the situation. How many times has the federal government called Dangote, the president and hitman? How many times are the hitman? How many times? But yet, solution were not able to be resolved within this period of time. Because this cabal controlling this region, this cabal that are enjoying us, suffering, making us wallow in poverty, is part of what is making them happy. Saying the Nigerian masses is suffering is what, and so they will never allow it to work. They will not with it to work the way yes. So by now, once the market of the method of this country, so that the skill come from a plus I think below 1,000, and because of it, invariably that's what people was able to subdue.
Jonathan, I think there's something wrong with your line. You're going on and off, on and off, on and off. Okay, all right. Please just call me back. Thank you so much. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you, Barrister Swat.
Thank you. Welcome. What's your name?
Okay, thank you, my sister. This is the voice of Dr. Richard.
Okay.
From Mushafa.
All right. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, my sister. Yes, I think there is this lie. Yes, I used the word lie. I don't know whether it's permitted. That the cabal or the the wicked people, yes, that are conducting the affairs of this country, you usually sell out, and it's unfortunate, that some of us are buying into it. The people, have been hearing up and down, across left and breadth, people are calling Dangote names, and we forget to ask an important question. Was it only Dangote that was giving certificates? Yes, to establish a refinery.
I don't think so. I think there are some other people. I think the Bua refinery too is upcoming or something.
Yeah. Then where are the others? You see, let me tell you one thing. I'm a student of business. I'm a student of business studies. I understand, what it takes, an entrepreneur, to go to business, and what guy is doing. It's normal. Normal in the sense that, you see, you have to loophole. Yes, the deficiency, on the part of our government. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm listening.
Okay. Yes, the lapses on the part of our government, for failing to make our refineries, functional. Then the guy is coming out, to create his own, and as an entrepreneur, he will look for every opportunity, to silence others, and that's exactly what he's doing. Now, the question we should be asking is this: what is NNPC doing in ensuring that our refineries, they are working? Then what are others doing, to compete with Dangote? You see, when we started this issue with Dangote, the moment the guy stopped producing oil, do you know what happened? The food, the price of the price of fuel jack up. Even NFPC NFPC, increase its own. So now, who is the problem now? Who is people's enemy? Let us ask this question, and provide this, find answer. The moment Dangote, start working optimally, the price comes down.
All right.
The moment stops working, the price goes up, even by NFPC and other marketers. So now, who is the problem?
All right.
Who are the enemy? Is it Dangote or that?
Thank you.
Please, be very careful. So that we not offend or bring the wrath of God, upon ourselves.
The wrath of God. Hey, God have mercy. All right. All right. Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Okay.
Hello. Yes.
In summary.
Who am I speaking with?
This is Jonathan.
Okay, Jonathan. Okay, Jonathan. All right. Round up then.
In summary, I think the federal government has failed in giving us the basic things that we need. And so let them leave the economy in the hands of the capitalists. Thank you.
All right. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me read some messages here. Good afternoon, Swat. No country that plays with its energy sector can survive. You can quote me anywhere. This is what government upon government do in Nigeria. That's why we are not making progress in the country. I don't know why Dangote fears competitive markets. You sell your own price, I see my own price, or I sell my own price. What's the big deal in it? But this is what Dangote fears most. I don't blame him. I blame the government that makes it possible for him to be enjoying numerous monopolies in all sectors of this business ventures. Nobody's sabotaging him. It's simply competition. And if the government can help many Nigerians who want to venture into oil markets, the price of fuel and many commodities in the oil industry would fall. But if they do that, the government will make less money than they would make when price is high. Here comes Pengerson, who he wanted to cage, and boom, we are here. We are there for our members. Obedient Man Emeka sent that in. Good afternoon, Ma. When the former president of this country said Nigeria's refinery is not working, many people in this country were castigating him. How market now? This country is not serious. The country will continue to import fuel since our Baba has his own private refinery in Malta. Dari from Guas. That's your opinion. I don't know where you got that from. Let's play this.
Good afternoon, Nigeria. My name is, if you see something, you say something. Dangote is trying. Honestly speaking, he's trying for poor masses of Nigeria. Without Dangote, we for buy gas 2,000. Oh. We for buy fuel 1,800. So we pray that God will give him more strength to continue pushing the prices down. Government of the day are not helping at all. Then, on the issue of marketers, you see marketers and pengasing, they are the problem of Nigerians in petrol and the oil. Marketers and pengasing, or what do they call themselves? The highest problem Nigeria having. But one day, God will set everything as it's supposed to be. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much for the contribution. All right. So we have some few minutes to go. Still on this very segment, asking that despite the domestic production of the Dangote Refinery, I would have loved to say maybe of the Kaduna, Port Harcourt. Unfortunately, though, those have gone into a perpetual silent mood. I don't know what is happening and all of that. Okay, I would have really loved to put that in one breath alongside Dangote, PH Refinery, Kaduna Refinery, and Warri Refinery. But, well, we're talking about domestic production in terms of the Dangote Refinery, and that is the reality. That is the refinery that we have now that is currently producing, churning out fuel, PMS, for domestic use, local use, and most probably export to other West African countries and other countries around the world, right? Now, despite that, we still have a report of very, very large amount, amounting up to 15 billion liters, still being imported in the last couple of months in the country. Okay, so the question now arises, is this a deliberate sabotage on Dangote and his refinery and his business? Or is this just what a competitive economy would do and open up the space? Is the importation justified at this point in time in our lives? There are a lot of other things that can be said with regards to imported fuel in Nigeria, but that is not the topic of the day. I just want us to debate the fairness or unfairness of this importation of fuel in the country, despite the fact that we have a very large Dangote refinery, by the way, in the country. Don't forget, Dangote's refinery didn't start today. Remember the first time he announced it was in 2013, right? 2013, that was the first time that anything came up. Despite the fact, or despite, we're not even putting into consideration the fact that there were news about him wanting to obtain one of the government refineries or the government refineries, and he was stopped from buying them. But it's a long journey from that time up until last year when it was launched. I think it took about, some years, some gruesome years of building up to where it is right now. And he announced his capacity and his capability to ensure that local needs are met. But then we still have cases of importation, in terms of billions of liters into the country. So would you consider that a competition? Would you consider that sabotage? Let me know what your take is. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Swat.
Swat? I'm not a doctor, please. Welcome. Welcome.
This is Ed. I'm from Kalatimawa.
Okay. Nice to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. My question is, importation of fuel, does it have anything to do with Dangote? I think Dangote is even trying to make sure that we are not importing. So if they come out with such a because that is fuel is imported with such amounts into Nigeria, what has it to do with the Dangote? I think these people are just trying to frustrate this man that has come out to help the poor masses in this country. When we there over the years, every year they will make a project of refurbishing refinery. At the end of the nothing comes up. And this man, by God's grace, invests his money and now come up with refinery. I want to make life easier for us. If it were not for Dangote, by this time I think fuel would have been either 2,000 and or above. And they want to frustrate it. And Nigerians, they don't understand this. By the time they succeed in frustrating this man, you people will see that we will be buying fuel at 3,000. I think we need to pray for this man.
Okay.
Thank you, man. That's nice.
Thank you. All right. Nemena Sokoro said, what report are we to believe? Is it a report of government not backed by credible empirical fact, or is it the assertion of Aliko Dangote that his refinery can saturate the needs of country's petroleum requirement? Let it be known.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, everyone. My name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation. You don't want to miss out.
All right, thank you so much for staying. It's 1:56. I was reading Neme's message, and then that came in. My apologies for that. Let me start again. What report are we to believe? Is it a report of a government not backed by credible empirical fact, or is it the assertion of Aliko Dangote that his refinery can saturate the needs of the country's petroleum requirement? Let it be known, remove importation of petroleum products from NNPCL and it will die a natural death. And this government will collapse because apart from importation of petroleum products, tell me how many liters of petroleum products is NNPC producing? The phantom importation of petroleum products by NNPCL is basically targeted towards sustaining this farce the government claim it's subsidizing fuel. Certainly, I will believe that of Aliko Dangote, because believing this particular government is like hoping the sun will turn dark one day, says Neme. Thank you, sir, for the message. Let me play this voice note, then come back to the phone lines.
Good afternoon, Swat. I just want to say one thing about this, the importation and Dangote's one. Before Dangote Refinery came, when they were importing fuel into Nigeria, every aspect of the importation was given a cost, including freight after it has been produced from where it was produced, and then including how it is sold till it got to the public. Now, the issue is this. Government said it was subsidizing in between. If they have subsidized in between, it means that they are paying for something. Now, if Dangote is producing locally, how come that huge money that came from that was supposed to be subsidized is still floating inside the cost? Now, the reason why competition is coming is because they believe that if nothing has changed, government is no more subsidizing. We can also bring it in and come and sell at 800 naira per liter, because there are some things that Dangote is supposed to remove that he has not removed. So if this competition comes, it will make Dangote to sit up. That's my own thinking, and I support it. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your own opinion shared with us today at this time. Okay. Good afternoon, Swat, Barrister Swat. Dangote believes in the economic philosophy of capitalism, and if he is for the interest of the masses, why is he afraid of competition? If he thinks those importing fuel are frustrating him, he should lower his own price to frustrate them too. There is nothing like sabotage. Okay, thank you. Hello?
Hello. I don't agree.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I greet all the callers and listeners. One of us asked a question. What is Nigeria benefiting from this marketers and tankers?
All right.
You understand? Since 50, up to now, we are still tankers and marketing. What are they marketing? I can't just understand. Are they federal government? These are the people creating problems in oil sector. Why not fire these people and give other people the license? Market is supposed to be in kind of competition, you understand, with it. But now it's like they are oppressing demand. To me, I think that market and they should be dissolved and look for another neutral people and give them the license. This is my take. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much. We should be rounding up anytime soon. And before we do that, many of you asked for, have been pressing for State of the Nation and all that. And I told you guys we have not produced anything. We've not produced newer versions of that. But some said, well, we can still play the old State of the Nation. So I would oblige you. I would play State of the Nation. After this conversation, play music, take a State of the Nation. Then we'll come back for the last segment, which is the exchange. But before then, let me take this call. Hello. Sorry about that. Call me back. 0700 951 0000 and 08095974869. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, Dr. Mrs. Barrister Swat.
I hear you. Only me.
Continue doing that. Barrister Swat. You see, we have issue that is taller than us in this country. Dangote with his own business brain manage. You see, when somebody was asking, is it only Dangote that were giving the license? No. Many of them were giving. I could recollect even Emeka Anoku were giving. And they are there, they can't do it. And this man, Dangote later ended up doing it and doing it better. And Ferguson and what do you call them, and the other one, in a cabal, in a boy to cabal, they decided to be snitching and sabotaging Dangote. Somebody say they should not import, you can import. So, you can see that simple because of this Dangote, and it's not simple anyway. Dangote have been asking whatever. My maid was telling me that gas is, not telling me that he bought gas to 2,000 naira because of that. And you can see that before Dangote's emergency on what do you call it, refinery, what NNPC has been doing us ever. And you see, we have ever been doing us. I beg. They are just trying to sabotage this man. He's a businessman. He must make gain. He himself will do what? Try to maneuver in order not to lose. In Nigeria, we are shouting that we are looking for an investor. We are calling up for an investor who will come and invest in Nigeria. You can hear somebody at the first bank, a whole first bank, voice signature, go to court and collect his investment. In Nigeria, not to talk of if the outsider should come in and invest, that's how they will finish the outsider. And the government we are in, or the government that pretended as if they did not hear that this man has been cheated for the what? For the marrow. You see, may I tell you, we get problem that we cannot solve, and it's going to consume us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your contributions, all of you. Thank you so much. We have to stop here. It's already 3 minutes past 2, and let me check if I have any more messages. Okay, doesn't look like I do have messages. Thank you for your contribution on the great debate. We'll have this again, hopefully next week, Thursday. But before then, let's take a break, a musical break. We'll take a state of the nation, and then I will come back for global news and stories outside and also within Africa. Don't go anywhere.
This is Nigeria Info.